don't have to worry about that, right? But for me, if I'm in charge of you, right, you're out playing, doing whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of where you have to be paying attention, right? If they're kids, I don't care about kids. I'm like, whatever. Knock each other out. Fight. I don't give a crap, right? As long as there's no weapons, you can duke it out, right? But if it's like, if there's someone that I'm like, whoa, maybe I'm at the playground, my kid's playing, maybe they're at the swings or something, and someone kind of starts walking by the swings. Maybe I'm 20 feet away, I see this guy coming by, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get closer. Maybe I'll start pushing my daughter on the swing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever. But you wanna make sure you're close enough so that my zone is your zone. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So just
Like
like,
there's overlap in the 3-foot zone? Or that you just are the same zone?
so that I can react for you.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because your 3-foot zone, say you're like full grown adult, right? Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna attack him and I wanna protect him, you're gonna close the gap.
Yeah.
If I start moving now, you can do a lot to him before I get there,
Yes.
right? Because my 3-foot zone, my 6-foot zone, you're not in mine,
But I am too.
but you are in his. And so I have to do, so what I have to do if I'm gonna try and protect this guy, my 6-foot zone has to line up as close as it can with him. The threat that I think is the threat. So if I think you're the threat, I don't want you on my far side of the 6-foot zone. I want to put me between you two. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like if you think about the octagon, right? We talked about how you can put the octagon on people, right?
And it changes your focus.
It's the same thing. My zones now are on him, though. It's like I still have mine. I'm not really thinking about them. His zones are my zones, right?
Yeah.
Which means if someone starts closing that gap, I'm coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming in. My hands are up, right? But I'm keeping. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Any question about that?
I mean, the theory makes sense. Yeah. So it's just closing the gap, making sure that you are able to react for them.
Turn two people into one.
Yeah, pretty much. And specifically the zones.
3-foot, 6-foot, 2-foot.
Yeah.
But mostly 3 and 6.
Yeah. Well, even so, when it comes to different people, it's like you want to be aware of their zones, and I stretch them out. Kind of like what you were saying, where it's like, for me, it's a 3-foot zone.
Mm-hmm.
For them, if I'm trying, like my daughter, if I'm trying to protect my daughter, it's a 6-foot zone. Anyone comes within 6 feet, if I don't trust them, I'm in that zone.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if he's out and he's playing or whatever, and you're coming, even if you're not going towards him yet, I'm coming and I'm getting in that zone because I don't want anything to happen to my daughter, right? Does that make sense though? It's that 3-foot zone. And then if something does happen, right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm positioned in such a way that you can't do anything without getting through me.
So if I'm closing the gap,
I'm coming in, right? And even if I don't have a block up, my body is becoming that block. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you should try and use your hands, but
So if I'm
don't
going
be like,
to,
"Rah, boom," right?
headbutt.
Right?
If I'm like going in for a grab, intending to like steal you away,
No.
Yeah,
which is more
Have
like
you guys-
for a 2-year-old.
what was
I
that?
don't know you.
Very
danger.
trauma-inducing movie.
The
Sound of Freedom.
one? Yeah.
You guys seen that?
No.
None of you are parents. Oh my gosh, it is trauma-inducing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it shows the very beginning of the movie. It shows real footage of kids being abducted,
Mm-hmm.
and it happens just like that fast. Like there's literally like a whole group of kids are playing on the side of the street. A guy rides up in his motorcycle and just grabs him and keeps going. It's that fast. I was like, oh man, oh man.
And then
Yeah.
I'm letting my child on the side again.
Just putting tire spikes on the road.
Yeah.
We're in the play zone right now.
But that though, that's a good example, right? It's like their zone has to be your zone.
You have to be
If you're
close enough to react fast enough, depending
Yes.
on how fast the
And if
attack
you're
is
in
moving.
a transient space, right, which the road, right, if your kids are outside